We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. Well, it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the defeat of Grand Admiral Gensler. Yes, he's been exiled to a faraway galaxy for once and for all. We have finally seen him admit defeat because Gary Gensler has just come out and said that he believes that the Ethereum ETFs will be going live as soon as September of this year. Everybody who was betting that the S1 applications would not be approved has now been defeated. I'm sorry to say if you were betting against the Ethereum ETFs coming, because even Gary Gensler himself says that they are on their way. We're going to be talking about that today, and we're also going to be talking about the setup that we're likely about to see on the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market for quarter 3 and quarter 4, because I believe that a major bull market is coming. A major rally is coming, and I don't think we've seen the half of it yet. I think that you're about to see a huge uptrend, and Michael Saylor believes the same thing, because MicroStrategy is in the process of acquiring $500 million more Bitcoin. So we're going to be talking about all of that and more in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live. There's a lot to cover on this hashtag FinSoft Friday. So let's not delay any longer. Let's make sure everybody is in chat. Look at that. Everybody already tuning in. Good to see all of you. We've got Philly Skills 1428 tuning in. Alex Nivo called out, said, "What's up, Buttercup?" Chewy Cat said, "How's it going, Jeb?" It's going pretty good. Meow yourself. We've also got Nick Gabriel on the chat, said Zcash Horizon is about to take off. Maybe so. We'll see. We've got Arslan saying good morning, Jeb. One House Production said good morning, Jeb. Satchet321 said Friday. Jackson Crawford and Arslan, and many more in chat. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in. We've got a lot to cover, so without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Guys, the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space right now is on a bit of a corrective movement. Over the last 7 days, we've had some pretty large drops. At this point in time, we've got over 15 different cryptocurrencies that are down by over 20% in the last 7 days. In fact, almost 25 cryptocurrencies down by over 20% in the last 7 days, going all the way down to Render, which is down 20.18%. Quite a lot of bearishness coming into the space from these different projects, but I don't expect that that's going to remain that way for long. And the part of the reason for that is because of this. Gary Gensler said that the Ethereum ETFs should be fully approved by September. Gary Gensler was put on blast in front of a commission in the United States Congress, the Senate Appropriations Committee, to justify the market regulator's budget that the process is working smoothly after the initial approval of a group of Ethereum ETFs. The agency had previously granted the initial round of applications, but he said the final registration requirements, known as S1s, are now being handled at the staffing level, which means that it's coming. It means that it's approved. It means that it's not going to be stopped. Gary Gensler himself is on record in front of freaking Congress saying that it's coming. So it's a done deal. It's on its way. Here's the thing, guys. The cryptocurrency space in 10 years is going to have an index fund trading on global stock markets. What do I mean by that? The United States has a market that tracks the entire market, and it's called the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and it goes back to a guy named Edward Dow who founded the Dow Jones Industrial Average. He also founded a little magazine that you may have heard before called the Wall Street Journal, and he also founded a discipline that you may have heard of if you've been watching this channel for a little while called technical analysis. Now, technical analysis predates Edward Dow, but he was the one that formally, that really began the actual science of it by comparing how his two indexes, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the Dow Jones Rail Average, moved against each other. He was able to make predictions about the overall direction of the entire economy. If they were both moving up, then it was bullish. If they were both moving down, then it was bearish. And if one was moving up but one was moving down, then it meant that there was indecision, and it meant that there was probably going to be a reversal either to the upside or to the downside coming soon. That was the beginning of technical analysis in the very late 1800s. Moving on into the 1900s, obviously it took off with candlestick analysis and Heikin-Ashi and all these different, all these different indicators. By the time you got to the 70s, you had John Bollinger creating Bollinger Bands. You had moving averages for over 100 years at that point, and Then with the dawn of the internet, people would start charting charts online on applications like TradingView. iShares was founded by BlackRock in the late 90s with technical analysis at the focal point to try and predict where the market was going to go and create outperforming indexes. But the point is, the index fund that was it's actually not an index fund, it's just an index. The index that was the Dow Jones Industrial Average tracks the overall economy. Well, several decades ago, Standard & Poor came together and created something called the S&P 500, which was an index that tracked the growth of the 500 largest companies traded by market capitalization in the United States. And it, to date, is one of the most secure, lowest risk, most conservative, yet successful ways to invest your wealth in the history of the entire human race. And we are going to see a very similar thing built out in cryptocurrency. It has been my prediction for many years now, but it continues to be my prediction that by the end of the 2030s, you're going to have something like this built, an S&P 500 of cryptocurrency assets. At that point, you're going to see who the top 10, top 15, top 20 cryptocurrencies are, and you're going to be able to start building a fund around that. It's not going to be the S&P 500, and it's probably not going to track 500 cryptocurrencies because there's just not as big of a market demand in crypto as there is in, the stock market. The stock market's worth over $30 trillion in the United States for a reason. But the crypto space will probably go to $5 or $10 trillion because it's a global market, not just relegated to the United States market. And so you probably will see some kind of index coming out, a bunch of them coming out that track Bitcoin and Ethereum when the Ethereum ETF goes online. That is going to be a small step for cryptocurrency, but a huge step for the future of this industry. Because for one, for the first time in history, investors on Wall Street that are trading on Fidelity or BlackRock or through BlackRock or through Vanguard or whoever, Franklin Templeton, VanEck, whoever, they are going to be able to buy a fund that includes Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then you're going to start seeing things like Chainlink. You're going to start to see things like Solana. You're going to start to see things like Cardano. Here's the thing. You don't have to have a project be the leader in a space to get an ETF. You just need to see that it's not a security. That's literally all that has to happen. And then it's probably going to end up getting an approval if it's big enough and has that many, large companies pushing for it. So you're going to start seeing these funds. And those large cap cryptocurrency funds are going to be the thing that's going to drive a ridiculous amount of wealth into the cryptocurrency space, because what's going to happen is you're going to get people like me that teach on how to build wealth in general, but I also specialize in cryptocurrency. And you're also going to get people that don't specialize in cryptocurrency, but they are wealth managers saying, put 5% into a cryptocurrency fund, put 10% into a cryptocurrency fund. And very quickly, when those funds come online, you're going to see these culture shift. Because now that this is official, now that this is on Wall Street, now that this has government, executive branch of government approval from the SEC, and the CFTC is watching over it, Congress is legislating, regulation around it so that it's clearly understood. That's when you start to see the mass adoption take place. That's where you start to see people buying Bitcoin as part of their retirement portfolios. That's where you see fund managers buying Bitcoin and cryptocurrency index funds as a form of long-term investment. That's where you start to see Bitcoin investment and cryptocurrency investment even start making sense to like the Ramsey-ites. We love Dave Ramsey, but we've got the saying on the channel, hashtag pray for Dave, right? Let's see it in chat. Let's see some hashtag pray for Dave. We got to pray for Dave. Guy thinks Bitcoin's a scam. There's one time that I saw that he said that Bitcoin was a scam. It was trading at $3,000. We know how that's going, right? Ramsey's right on a lot of stuff, but they're dead wrong on that. And I have a feeling his children that are going to be taking over the company in the next 10 to 15 years are going to realize that and say, listen, Daddy-O, I'm sorry, but we're just getting behind the times on this. Let's say we put 10% into crypto index funds, whatever. You're even going to see that happening. That's my prediction, that even Ramsey is going to get on board with cryptocurrency eventually. And it's going to happen because of stuff like this, which is where we tie into today. The Ethereum ETFs should be fully approved by September, and that is going to lead to a huge, say it with me now, everybody who's been watching Trump and crypto, huge. The man does not understand how to pronounce his H's. Huge. We've got a Donald Trump scale, huge bull market coming to Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space, because these funds are on the way and people are going to start buying them for the long run, which is what I recommend that you do. Buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, hold it for 40 years. Be wealthy. I mean, come on. The people that think about what's the biggest, no matter where you are in the country, there's the city, and then there's the outlying suburbs. We live in an outlying suburb of Newberry. Of Gainesville. Gainesville's the city. Newberry, Alachua, Archer, Bronson, Williston, those are all like outlying, supporting towns of the main city, which is Gainesville, where we live, right? Imagine if you had bought land in the heart of Gainesville. 30 years ago, right across the street from University of Florida, was a bunch of fields. That land now goes for over $1 million an acre. I know some of the people that are developing apartment complexes on the other side of University Avenue across from University of Florida. I was kind of there for a 5-story apartment complex going up there. The dirt, an acre and a half, sold for $2.5 million. Imagine if you could buy that land and then everything comes in and develops around it. That's what we're seeing happen right now. You're able to buy the dirt for pennies on the dollar compared to where it'll be in 30 years, and you're not doing that? Are you crazy? Really? These index funds are coming, and they're going to happen sooner than you think. By the end of the decade, you're going to see a bunch of them. By the end of the 2030s, it's going to be mainstream. It's going to be part of every single financial advisor's tool belt, probably before the end of the 2030s, probably by the very beginning of the 2030s. You're going to see just about every single financial advisor and wealth manager saying to put a percentage into crypto, whether it's 1%, 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever. They're going to advise you to put most of it in the stock market, as they should, but they're also going to advise you to put some of it in crypto. And that is going to be 100 million people that are building wealth in the United States that are investing thousands of dollars, or at least hundreds of dollars every single month, putting a portion of that into the cryptocurrency space. By the way, the United States leads the rest of the world on wealth generation. That's kind of our thing, is getting rich. And so everybody else is going to follow along, and then you've got the other 3/4 of the global GDP doing the exact same thing that we're doing in America, and the cryptocurrency space explodes into the end of the 2020s and into the 2030s. This is why I'm encouraging you to freaking hurry up, get out of debt, get on a budget, and get investing in this space, because there's money to be made here. Who has a grandparent, or maybe you are the grandparent, and you know somebody, or you are the somebody that bought land 30 years ago? You bought a plot of land. My adoptive family's mother, Mary, she just passed and went to heaven earlier this year, right? But they bought a house that in the I think in the 60s, not sure the exact 60s or 70s. She was a little over 80 when she passed this year, I think. But great lady. But anyway, they bought a house, and she was concerned about buying this house because her and Clyde, her husband, they're in their 20s or 30s or something. She's like, man, I don't know if I want to live out in the country. And it's really funny because right now it's in the middle of the city. I don't know what the property's worth, but I'm quite sure that in the 30 or 40 years since they bought that house, it has increased in value by like 50x. That's what you get to do in crypto right now. You get to buy into an asset and hold it for a long time because the city is growing up around you, right? They didn't want to live in the country. Now they're in the middle of Gainesville. Now that house is in the middle. It's for sale now. I think it may have even been sold by now. But the point, it was in the middle of Gainesville now, right? You've got to go another 2 miles north to get to the country at this point. But back then, it was 2 miles from the city. It was out in the country. That's what happens. The people that build wealth buy and hold for a long time. Buy and hold. You want to invest and make money? 2 words, 3 words. Buy and hold. Buy and hold. Buy and hold. Buy and hold. You want to get broke? Buy and sell. Buy and sell. Buy and sell, buy and sell. You want to build wealth? Buy and hold, buy and hold, buy and hold, buy and hold. You want to get broke? Buy a boat. You want to build wealth? Buy Bitcoin. What song is that from? All right, so how does this impact things? Well, it clearly has had an impact on Michael Saylor, because Michael Saylor is leading MicroStrategy to raise another $500 million to purchase more Bitcoin. Somebody in chat just said that may have just gone to $700 million. I would not be surprised at all. This dude's just gobbling up Bitcoin. We've got a website I want to show you that was pretty cool, called SaylorTracker.com. If you guys don't know, I actually did an interview with Michael Saylor. Really amazing guy. Check him out. Links in, you can find that interview that we did with him on the channel. It's got almost 100,000 views now. Absolutely great interview. Make sure to check that out. But here on SaylorTracker.com, you can see all of the acquisitions of Bitcoin. They were buying Bitcoin back here when it was trading at $10,000 bucks, guys. $10,000, they started buying Bitcoin. $250 million worth of Bitcoin. It's up 474%. They bought 21,000 Bitcoin. MicroStrategy at the current time holds 214,400 Bitcoin, worth approximately $14.4 billion. Their average cost basis is $35,000, so they've increased the value of the portfolio by $6.8 billion. This is how you build wealth. But Jeb, that's only a double. Oh no, it's only a double. They've been doing this for 3.5 years. a double in 3.5 years is pretty freaking good, especially when you're investing in an asset that is rock solid and is not going anywhere. Here's the thing. Everybody says, oh, I want more than 30% a year. Okay, great. Go get more than 30% a year and then lose your freaking butt because you're not doing it in a conservative enough way that you're not going to lose all your money. Because here's what ends up happening. If you don't invest in something like Bitcoin or in Ethereum, then you miss the boat on returns that were very safe. I want you to make 30, 40, 50, 60, 100% a year if you can. But the thing is, you've also got to calculate the risk. If you don't calculate the risk, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. And the fact of the matter is, if you do that, you're not going to be succeeding in the long run because eventually you're going to get wiped out. The reason that Michael Saylor only buys Bitcoin is because he can double $6 billion in 3 years. He doesn't need to work with the other cryptocurrencies. But by the way, neither do you. This is a common misconception that, oh, you've got to go be super risky to get things started. No, you actually don't. You have to take risk, or else you're just going to park your money in CDs, right, or in treasuries. You've got to take some risk to actually make wealth. But you don't have to go in risk that you're going to lose your butt every single time you make an investment. You don't have to do that. That's a myth. I heard somebody say that yesterday. I love them. Infinite amount of respect for this individual. But I was thinking to myself, you don't have to do that. You don't have to take a huge amount of risk. And maybe I misunderstood what he was saying, but you don't have to take a huge amount of risk. You don't. You can build wealth in a way that looks like this. So, how do we apply all of this? Well, let's take a look at the charts, right? We've got a lot of reasons to believe that Bitcoin is going to be going into a major uptrend over the course of the next several years. But one of the things I'm excited about is to talk about how we're going to get there in the next several months. Bitcoin is in the process of building a large inverse head and shoulders pattern that looks like this. We're printing our right shoulder right now, and so if Bitcoin does manage to hold up here above $64,300, or even if it did drop down to $60,000, it would still be building a right shoulder. The left shoulder actually drops all the way down to 60, so even if we did drop down there briefly, it's okay. It's still an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So long as we end up going through a breakout sometime in the next 2 months, we're going to be golden. And by the way, we've got the rumor that the Ethereum ETFs are going to be coming. Remember the buy the rumor, sell the news stuff? Remember all this time? This was on the rumor that the Bitcoin ETF was going to be approved. News came out, we crashed. But not for long, we ended up rallying again because the ETFs performed so well, and that was news in and of itself. We're going to see the same thing happening on Ethereum more than likely because Ethereum is going to end up seeing an approval probably coming in September. And so when we see a break bullish coming relatively soon over the next 2 months or so on Ethereum, it's going to be because people are anticipating the Ethereum ETF's approval. When the approval comes out, based on our historical analysis of what happened with Bitcoin, we could probably see 2 to 3 weeks of bearishness on the Ethereum chart. And if that happens, fine, buy some more because the Ethereum ETFs is going to see an insane amount of inflows, potentially even more inflows than Bitcoin. Wait, really, Jeb? Yeah, seriously. It actually probably could see that. And then from that point in time, that's going to drag the Bitcoin and the altcoin space up, and you're going to go into the next stage of the bull market. That's going to be coming in Q4, most likely. You're probably going to see the exact same response to the ETF that Bitcoin saw. A rally into the ETF, a short-term correction because of the ETF, and then a rally out of the ETF with the news of the huge amount of inflows. The Bitcoin ETFs have seen over $20 billion of cumulative inflows ever since they launched, including the amount of value that left the Grayscale ETF. A lot of it moved, right? But there's been net $21 or $22 billion of inflows. So far in June, there's been like $3 billion, $3 or $4 billion of net inflows just in June, right? The ETFs hold, oh gosh, I want to say like 214,000 Bitcoin or something, right up there, right alongside about how much Michael Saylor holds and MicroStrategy holds. The ETFs hold all of that cumulatively, right? And so we're going to see a very similar thing happening on Ethereum. You're going to see a huge amount of inflows going into Ethereum, and heck, maybe it even convinces Michael Saylor to get in on Ethereum. Part of the reason that Michael Saylor, again, I've talked to the guy, I met the guy. Part of the reason that he hasn't bought into Ethereum is because he's completely convinced it's a security. Well, according to what we just saw yesterday, the CFTC is going to be taking charge on leading a lot of the regulation here in the cryptocurrency space, as we've seen from recent legislation. But the CFTC also, it says it somewhere right here. Let's see. The CFTC Commissioner Rostin Benham said yes when asked the question, is Ethereum a commodity? When asked directly whether Ethereum is a commodity, Gensler didn't respond with yes or no, maintaining the uncertain position his agency has held on the asset. So the two people whose opinion matters, one of them doesn't know what he's talking about, and the other one said it is certainly a commodity. Now, of course, the CFTC has every reason to say that because they want to be the ones regulating it. But Gensler does not have the confidence to say no, that it's not a commodity, and yes, that it's a security. We could very easily see, we could very easily see with this approval coming online, Ethereum not be treating like a security. That could lead Michael Saylor into buying into Bitcoin, into Ethereum as well. Point is, Ethereum's going to go through a huge rally. I think $10,000 is in the cards for the next 18 to 24 months. And anyone who holds Ethereum right now is going to be very flipping happy they did. Guys, I bought Ethereum when it was trading below $200. Buy and hold if you want to make money. Fifth law of money. Save and invest for the future. How do we actually make money in investment? We buy and hold. You don't fiddle with it. You don't screw with it. The times that this channel has been most successful has been the time that I haven't screwed with the content strategy. For a time there, when we had a bunch of people on staff, my idea was every month we're going to try a new content strategy. Every month we're going to try this kind of upload, this kind of upload, this kind of upload. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You know what was always the most successful content strategy for the channel, which we're now back to? Uploading once a day. Just a video every day. Just one video every day. Just one. Not 5, not 0, just one. Just one. It's that simple. Buy and hold. Do the same thing consistently and be good at it for a long time. Buy Bitcoin. Buy Ethereum. Some of our Ethereum is up 15x. At the top, it was up 25x. It's probably going to be up 50x in 2 years from now. Some of the Ethereum that I held, I bought it at 100. I think our lowest entry was like $114 or something. It was back down here. If you remember, during COVID, we saw Ethereum just absolutely just faceplant right down here. We were buying every single week. I was dollar cost averaging buying 2 Ethereum. I buy 2 Ethereum every week. That's what I was doing. Buy 2 Ethereum every week at $190 or so. And just held it for the long run. And guys, we might not see as rapid returns as we did since then. I've 15x some of that Ethereum since then. We might not see 15x again that quickly, because that'd have to be a $60,000 ETH. But there are a lot of other places you can do that kind of thing. Chainlink, it could 15x, Even if Ethereum doesn't 15x, if it 5x's, that's still a 5x. That's incredible. So just keep the faith, keep the course, and continue investing in the cryptocurrency space. Now, guys, I also want to make sure that you're being safe, because if you make these investments and you lose them to a hacker, that's just going to suck. That's just going to really feel bad. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to lose your wealth. So sign up for NordVPN by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb and sign up for a 2-year plan. You'll get 4 months free when you sign up with our link. 4 months free. 4 free months. Free stuff, right? Sign up down below with the link in the description. nordvpn.com/Jeb, as seen on YouTube here, right? And you're going to be protecting yourself from cyber criminals by keeping their spying eyes and their praying hands off of you. Let me go pick on somebody else that didn't sign up for NordVPN. Sign up for NordVPN, keep it on, especially if you're ever on public Wi-Fi, and that'll help to keep you safe. Stay safe. I do not want you guys to lose your wealth. That would be so absolutely heartbreaking to hear about you guys getting hacked. All right, let's read a little bit of chat. Petro Cars and Crypto said, we only needed Jeb. I don't know about that. You'd probably need a lot more than me, but I'm glad that you guys like it. Gary, take your L and get lost. Yeah. Yeah, he's probably going to get fired. Like, we gotta like get really nasally and do a Donald Trump. Fired. It's like you gotta sneeze into speaking. It's fired. That's how he does it. He's fired. He's like a little puppy with his eyes shut because he's like, fired. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not trying to disrespect the president. I don't want to disrespect Joe Biden either. I'm not. I have a lot of respect for individuals in general, but we can make some fun. Emil Lamothi said, Jeb, the best. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Quinn in chat said, morning, Jebby. Love you, brother. Love you guys also. Very, very, very excited for all of you guys to succeed. Joel Elb said, love you, bro. Live from London. Shout out to London. Let's go. Crush it. Crow thinks highly of you. Well, shout out to Crypto Crow. Hope he is doing well. Been wanting to do some collaborations after the baby comes and things calm down a little bit. Would love to come on his channel, or he can come on our channel or something. That would be a lot of fun. Make sure to check out Crypto Crow over here. Boom. He's got the Star Wars Pew Pew shirt. Love Star Wars. All right. Make sure to check him out. All right. On Jeb channel. Yep. Let's see. My husband bought... Okay, here. This is a very sad story. Emily Guzman said, my husband bought Ethereum at $112 and got hacked. They took everything. That's rough. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's why I want you to sign up for things like NordVPN. And I'm not even just trying to say this for a sales pitch, guys. We take sponsors that help you guys. They help to keep the lights on here. They help us to, push forward our mission of financial sovereignty and, donating and being, radically generous and all that. But we also take on sponsors that help you guys somehow. And so that's why I want you to sign up for NordVPN. It helps us, but it also helps you. You know, that's happened to a lot of people, gotten hacked and lost a lot of money. I don't want that to happen to you. Keep up the good work. Thank you, George Stefanos. Stefanatos, I'm sorry. My apologies. Let's see. I'm going to read probably 1 or 2 more chats, and then we're going to keep it going here. Yep. What about Solana? What do you think about Solana, Jesus said? Or Jesus? I'm not sure. So I'm quite excited for Solana. I think it's going to do very well. But like I said, my biggest concern with Solana is the inflation. If you look up the Solana inflation on, I think there is a, oh my goodness, what website is it? There's a website that shows you, it's on Masari. There we go. If you look on Masari, you can see the inflation of all of these different projects by looking at their supply. Come over here to charts, go to supply. You can see there's been a lot of Solana come into the space recently. People are like, oh, Jeb, oh my goodness, it's not inflating that much. All right, well, we just added 10 million into the circulating supply in a week. We increased the circulating supply by like 1% or so in a week. If you look at all time here, you can see the inflation schedule on Solana. January 11th, 2021, went from 262 million to where we are right now at 460 million. We've added 80% of the supply in 3.5 years. Go right ahead and tell me that that's not dangerous. Go right ahead and tell me that that's not, by the way, a lot more inflation than the dollar. At least as far as CPI is concerned, right? Now, of course, we've seen a lot. We've seen close to that much inflation on some things, like, you know, groceries and different things like that. We've seen in some areas we have seen 80% inflation in the United States dollar. But here's the thing: that doesn't negate the fact that Solana's inflated 80%, because what you have to do is they don't cancel each other out. They're additive, right? So if you have 80% inflation on Solana and you have 80% inflation on the United States dollar, you have to add those inflations together. So you've got 160% inflation if you bought Solana 3.5 years ago in the dollar, right? Now, the US dollar hasn't actually inflated 80%. It's inflated probably, I don't know, probably about 20% since then from a CPI standpoint. So you've seen about half of your money disappear since January 11th of 2021 in Solana. Now, the asset has increased in value, of course. If we go to Solana's chart and we go to Solana over Tether, January 2021, you know, Solana was trading at $4, right? So it's like you bought it at $8, and it's still at $145. So it's outpaced inflation, but how long can you keep that up? Especially when you've already got, you know, a market capitalization north of $70 billion, or right now it's $67 billion. It's difficult for it to go and increase by an order of magnitude again. Ethereum is not even worth $670 billion. For Solana to keep up, for Solana's growth to outpace its inflation, it's got to rally very quickly, and eventually it ends up taking over everything. It has to rally at a parabolic rate. So I love Solana. I think it's really, really, really great technology. I like the Rust programming language is wonderful. Solang, which allows for smart contracts from Ethereum to move over to Solana, is incredible. You know, I think that Anatoly Yakovenko, the founder of Solana, he worked at what was it? Where'd he work? I forgot exactly where he worked. Was it? It wasn't Nokia. Where was it? Anyway, the guy's a freaking genius. The guy is an absolute genius. Graduated from the Bachelor in Computer Science from University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Campaign. He worked at, oh my goodness. Where did he work? I forgot where he worked. Let me pull up his LinkedIn. He worked at, anyway, he worked at a technology company for about 10 years. Qualcomm, that's who they are, Qualcomm. He worked at Qualcomm for like 10 years, building back-end firmware level architecture. The guy's freaking genius. Such a genius. Very smart guy. Got a lot of respect for him. That's just a huge red flag for me. The fact that Solana goes down and the fact that it's got all that inflation. So I do hold a lot of Solana, but just so you know, our portfolio in cryptocurrency is like 80% Bitcoin and Ethereum. I hold altcoins and I'm going to liquidate all of them at the top. All of them. I might hold on to a little bit of stuff like Chainlink. I'm a fanboy for Chainlink. I just think Chainlink is going to I just think it's absolutely going to explode. But we're gonna sell a lot of it at the top, except the Bitcoin and the Ethereum, because I'm buying and holding Bitcoin and Ethereum for long term. I've got Bitcoin and Ethereum that I bought again at $3,000, at $4,000, at $5,000 on the Bitcoin side. And, you know, I bought Ethereum down at several $100, $800, $1,000. I bought some of it at $2,000. I bought a bunch of it just recently at like $2,700. You know, I'm going to hold those assets for a long time. And that's how we're going to make money. That's how we've been making money. We've generated a lot of wealth doing that. And so I'm very excited to continue doing that. Do I like Solana? Yes. Do I think that it is my favorite investment? Absolutely not. No, I don't. I do, however, think that there will probably be an ETF for it eventually. There's going to be questions about the actual governance of it, but if you got an Ethereum ETF, well, they both have relatively similar governance structures, and they both have organizations and foundations. They have a singular and known inventor, creator, founder. So might happen. We could see it. I could see Solana going to $1,000. I really could. But I could also see Solana losing half of its value to inflation before then. So hard to tell what exactly is going to happen. All right. Please advise me on how many Solana an average person needs to have. It's not about how many Solana the average person needs to have. See, that's the issue, is that the cryptocurrency YouTube space dumbs investment and wealth building down a little bit. But the thing is, it's not much more complicated. You're just kind of missing the point. You see, here's the thing. What gets attention, and I've made a couple videos like this, but it's for the sake of a goal, not for the sake of being financially free. What gets attention is, you only need 100 Solana. You only need 1 Bitcoin. You only need 50,000 Cardano. You only need. No, what you only need is to choose to be financially sovereign, which is to get control of your money rather than it controlling you. Because I will tell you what, I have made millions of dollars in my life. Millions. I'm 23 years old. I've made over $5 million in my life. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to tell you that I've broken some of the laws I'm about to tell you, and it doesn't freaking work if you don't follow what I'm about to say. I've learned it the hard way. We'd be worth $25 million right now if I had followed every single one of these laws to the T. And we're doing very well for ourselves, but golly, guys, we'd probably be on track to be worth over $100 million by the end of the decade if I had followed all these from day one. So please, do what I'm sharing with you, and you will succeed. Rule number 1, choose FinSolve. What does that mean? It means controlling your money rather than it controlling you. You can control your money or it will control you. You can be its master or you will be its slave. Those are the only 2 ways to be in that relationship. You don't get to have one and the other. You don't get to be mastered by your money and master your money. You do not succeed with money. You do not honor God with money if you are not the master of your finances. Because if they're mastering you, then that means that they are the ones that you are bowing down to. You've in a sense made them a god. You've in a sense made your money an idol. And you're certainly not going to grow. You're not going to grow. You have to get control of your money. That's called financial sovereignty. Step number 2, you've got to choose to live on less than you make. A lot of people want to invest their way out of stupid. It doesn't work that way. I've tried that, man. I tried investing my way out of stupid. You know what happens? The stupid grows faster than your investment acumen. You've got to get rid of the stupid. You know what was stupid for me? I had 16 employees, over $85,000 a month in payroll, when I probably could have been generating the same or close to the same revenue on 4 or 5 employees and $25,000 a month of payroll. As much as I love all the people that we have on staff, that's just flushing $50,000 down the toilet every month. Right? Because, I mean, they could be working at a job where they're, you know, again, needed. It's not that they're bad people. They're great people. They were all very wonderful people, but we just didn't need that big of a payroll. I was just like, oh, you know what? Well, I got my thought process was, hey, we've got a little bit of profit. I can hire somebody. Well, that's stupid. What happened to profit margin, Jeb? Come on, you idiot. Like, I'm moron. In between these 2 years, I've been a freaking idiot. I've learned this the hard way. Step number 2, live on less than you make. Wealthy people keep as much profit as they can. That's why you have, that's why you have the off-brand at Aldi. We never buy anything on brand unless it tastes just absolutely terrible. We buy all the off-brand stuff. We can afford to buy the brand name stuff, but why? It tastes the same. It's a fourth the price. The name brand stuff, like we just bought, so I needed some ibuprofen because I get headaches. I get chronic migraines. And the name brand, which is ibuprofen, the exact same drug. You can get 100 for $1.98. The Advil, you could get 50 for $8. Right? The Advil realizes, because they're wealthy, let's keep a really high profit margin. Because people with high profit margins will make a lot of money. I have a friend that worked at Pepsi for a while. Some of their products, I don't remember which one, but one of their products, they had like a 90% profit margin on. It was stupid. I think it's Cheetos. Right? Those Cheetos. Those little Cheetos. That's why they're everywhere. They cost nothing to make, and they sell so many of them. They make so much profit. Live on less than you make. Rule number 3, have a written plan for your money. In budgeting, that's called, in personal finance, that's called a budget. In investment, that's called an investment plan. Rule number 4, get out of debt, run from it like the Dickens, run from it like you're in Kansas and it's a tornado, get away from it however fast you possibly can. Number 5, save and invest for the future. And number 6, be radically generous, because joy in life comes from being generous and serving others. That doesn't just have to do with money, but a lot of that does have to do with money and finances and resources. If you do those things, you'll succeed with money. If you fail to do one of those things, you might still get ahead, but you will probably, not probably, I guarantee you will leave a lot of the potential on the table. If you fail to do 2 or more of those things, you are almost guaranteed to fail with money, even if you excel at the rest of them. Even if you excel at the rest of them. And by the way, if you fail at FinSov, you will fail 100% of the time, because if you do not control your money, it'll control you. And so you can't invest your way out of stupid. So how many Solana do you need to succeed? Well, that really depends on how good you are at managing the money. That really depends on how good you are at having a budget, and you get to tell all of your money where to go rather than it telling where it's going to go and then you wondering where it went. Because I've done that. I've made a lot of money and then spent it all because there wasn't a smart plan and budget there. So what we need to do here is we've got to get our finances under control and build a financial foundation of wisdom and then succeed. So the better question, which you probably tuned out by now because you're like, oh, that's not what I asked. Which, by the way, thank you for being here. I'm very honored that you're here. I'm very honored you're asking that question. I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you're dumb. I want to share with you that there's more to the question than that. How much Solana does the average person need to have? It depends on what need is. Are you trying to make $100,000? Well, then you might need, I don't know, you might need 150 or 200 Solana. Are you trying to retire? Well, then that depends on how much money you want to retire. Do you want $1 million? Well, then you might need 1,500 Solana. What does need mean? Right? What does need mean? Are you trying to make $1 million? Are you trying to make $10 million? Are you trying to make $1,000? That is going to kind of play into it. And then from the financially sovereign way of looking at this is rolling it back. Okay, I'm expecting Solana is going to go to $500. So if I'm going to sell at $500 and I want to make $50,000, then I need 100 Solana, right? And so to acquire 100 Solana, the price is $140 or whatever, then that means that I need to spend $14,000 to make $50,000, and the $26,000 would be capital gains, or sorry, $36,000 would be capital gains. I'll pay 30% on that. I'll walk away with $24,000. I just turned my $12,000 into $24,000, into $24,000 of capital gains. I just tripled my money, right? So that's kind of how you look at that, is you've got to figure out what the goal is, and you've also got to make sure that you have a understanding of how to manage your wealth. Because nobody, and this is the thing that crypto wants to just skip, and it's a huge hole in the market. Nobody's doing this. Read the book, The Big Blue Ocean Strategy. This is the big blue ocean in crypto. Nobody is teaching on wealth management. Everybody's teaching on buy this coin, do this, do that. No. That's good. That's great. But you're putting the roof on a house that's built on a dirt foundation. The whole thing's going to fall down. I don't care how good you are at building a roof. If the foundation is not in order, that thing's going to collapse. I don't give a crap how good you are at investment. If you don't understand how to run a budget, you will fail. Guaranteed. Some of you guys are going to say, yeah, Jeb, yeah, and you're going to say, yeah, awesome, and we'll follow that. And then some of you are going to say, he's got no idea what he's talking about. Well, if you think I don't know what I'm talking about on that, I'm here to tell you that I am wrong on a lot of things. I'm not wrong on that. Jeb McAfee is not wrong on this, that if you do not understand how to control your money, it will control you and you will fail. Guaranteed. That's my guarantee that I provide you. Every company ought to give a guarantee. My guarantee is that if you do not become financially sovereign over your wealth, you will fail 100% of the time. It might take a few years. The prosperity of fools shall destroy them, is the way the Bible says it in Proverbs chapter 1. The prosperity of fools shall destroy them. A fool eats up everything that he has and has nothing left, is what the Bible says. That's somebody that doesn't live on less than they make. It is a fool that sets out to build a tower, Jesus says, without counting the cost, and he gets halfway up the tower and realizes he ran out of materials, and everybody starts to mock and laugh because he wasn't able to finish the project he started. That's what a fool does. A fool is the opposite of wise. A wise individual realizes that you cannot grow anything that you do not first have control over. That's why having discipline and respect from your children is so important, because I want to help them to grow. And the only way I'm going to be able to help them to grow is by saying, I am going to be the one in control. Now, I'm not going to be controlling. Make a choice if you want to, right? But when I say we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to do that, or there's going to be this word called consequences, right? Because there's got to be a level of control before you can grow anything. I tell my son, I am in control of you because it is my job to grow you into the man that you are supposed to become so that you can be proud of who you are one day and you can walk around saying, man, I am glad that I am who I am. And the only way that I'm able to grow my son and my daughter and my upcoming son into the people that they are supposed to be is by controlling them at the point in time that they are not old enough to be self-controlled. By saying, no, it's time to go to bed. Oh, but, well, they'd stay up till 3 a.m. if they could. But said, no, it's time to turn the TV out. Well, they stay up till 3 a.m. if they could. No, it's time to eat some healthy food. Well, they'd eat nothing but chocolate if they could. It's not good for them. Until they learn how to be self-controlled, it's my job to control them for themselves and to have an other control on them until they're able to control themselves. Why? So that I can grow them, not so I can be a totalitarian, tyrant, dictator, jerk. It's so that I can help them to become somebody that they're going to want to be someday. I tell my son that every single day, every time that he gets any kind of consequences and any kind of reward. I say, it is my job to help you become who you are supposed to be. It is my job to help you to become somebody that you want to be one day. We were walking into Target the other day, and my son is a great kid. He never thought about stealing. He's like, what happens if I stole that car, Daddy? Not that he was trying to steal the car. He was just wondering, like, what happens? I said, I call the police. He said, you call the cops on me? I said, yeah, I call the cops right away. I'm not going to help you with stealing a car. No, I love you. There's consequences. You steal that car, I'll be the first one to call the police. He said, what? And my wife looked at me like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. No, you steal a car, I'm calling the cops. I'm not being your accomplice. Heck no, that's not going to help you grow into who you're supposed to be. Like hell, I'm going to help you steal a car. No, if you come to me and told me you stole a car, I'll give you like 30 minutes to return it or I'm getting the police involved. No. You're going to be under control so that you can grow into who you're supposed to become. If you want to succeed with wealth, you've got to have it under control so that it can grow into who you're into what it is supposed to become. So that that part of your life can grow into what it is supposed to become. And if you have not figured that out, then no amount of investment will ever out-invest dumb. You can never out-invest stupid. You can never out-invest foolishness. You can never do it. Ever. You can't do it. It will not happen. I've tried it. I failed. I am speaking from my successes, but also from my failures. You cannot out-earn stupid. So please, for the love of God, choose today to stop being a fool. Doesn't mean you're stupid. Intelligence and foolishness, intelligence and wisdom, and foolishness and stupidity are two different things. I don't think you're stupid. I don't think anybody in this chat is stupid. You're all very intelligent people, or else you wouldn't be here listening to what I'm saying, rambling about money and control. Right? You wouldn't be listening to me if you did not have some intelligence, right? But if you're a fool with money, no judgment. I'm not here to be judgmental. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. It might sound like that because I'm talking at the camera, but if I were talking to you one-on-one, I wouldn't be talking this way, right? I'd be talking a little bit different, like, hey, let's get it together, man. I'd be encouraging you, right? The goal here is that we've got to get control over our money so that we can grow it. One of the ways that we can keep control over our money is by making sure that it's stored somewhere that is safe. And that's why we are brought to you today also by Vault, which is a product put on by Uphold. Here's the thing. Uphold is a great cryptocurrency exchange, and they've created a great cryptocurrency wallet. You can sign up for Uphold's Vault with the link in the description box down below, and the reason you should do this is because you have something called assisted key replacement technology, which means that should you lose one of your two keys, the Uphold key can stand in the place of the two keys should you lose that, or the one key should you lose that, which means you can self-custody your Bitcoin and cryptocurrency on a cold wallet that is only accessible by you, not by Uphold, because remember, Uphold only has the one key, and you need two keys to get into the wallet, and it will help you to stay secure while you browse online, because if you lose a private key, it doesn't mean the world's over. You can get it back. It's very, very important. So sign up for Uphold and Vault with the link in the description box down below. We're going to read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to wrap it out. Emily said, tired of being a fool? Me too, man. It's me too. Jarvis Wright said it's actually pretty easy to be a fool. It is. Foolishness is the easier route. Hard choices make easy lives. Easy choices make hard lives. It's easier to go steal a Beamer than it is to earn the money to buy one, or a Mercedes or whatever. But you're going to spend 10 years in prison, and that's going to be on your record forever. Right? Grand Theft Auto. It's a thing. Get control over yourself. I took the path less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. If you've enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tune in at 2 p.m. for our daily dose of cryptocurrency. You're not going to want to miss this one. Also, make sure to sign up for Crypto.com. The link for Crypto.com is in the description box down below. Get access to the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, over 100 million users, and all of their rewards and earn programs. They've got so many ways to make money, so make sure to check them out. The link in the description box down below as well. I've got to go. Before I do, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling.